Brush a pen, a brand new page. The world transforms, becomes a stage. Creative creations, the magic of art. Whatever we do, it comes straight from the heart.
Hello and welcome, wonderful artsy friends, to another video. Today I want to create an art journal page together with you, and I'm working in a journal here, in one of my junk journals, my winter junk journals, and I decided that I just want to fill that first page here, and I printed out this 3D window frame, and I wanted to have a fireworks behind it peeking through the window here, and I just scanned one of my watercolor illustrations and printed it in a smaller size so that it fits this window frame. Then I'm just gluing down some different elements here, just a piece out of an old newspaper, doing some stamping here. I decided that this wheel of the year, this zodiac wheel, is really a good match actually for the theme of the page, for a new year, for a Happy New Year page or spread. Then I use a stencil, which I also 3D printed with a brick wall, and I'm using two different types of texture pastes here, one opaque white or eggshell texture paste and one golden translucent texture paste. And right now you can't really see a difference between the two, but in the end it will give you a really beautiful result, just the mix of those two. Yeah, and then once this is dry, the texture paste is dry, I just grabbed some mica stain and some distress stain, just spraying it onto the page, and then using a brush to help the wet paint to guide it like down the page, to create a little bit of a dripping effect here. However, I wanted to have a little bit of influence on where the drops go, so I'm using a brush to kind of help the drips, to guide the drips where I want them to go. So with this copper mica stain, once I'm happy with that, I just grabbed some blue distress stain in addition, because I kind of wanted to keep a little bit of that blue of the actual paper of the page. However, I also wanted to darken that blue a little bit more, to give it a bit more of like a night sky look, matching the look of my painting, matching that night sky scene with the fireworks. Then I'm using a heat gun to dry this, and then I'm using a distress tool and some distress ink to ink the edges, just adding a walnut stain here to the edges. And then I'm already at that point where I can assemble my main focal element, that window. So I'm just adding some glue here to the back of that window frame, and I'm adhering my watercolor painting to the back, and then I'm using some ink to slightly ink the edges of that window frame, and then using some gel medium to add another layer here to the page, just some fun decorative fabric, translucent decorative fabric, and then I'm already gluing down my window frame, also using gel medium, because the background is quite textured, and the gel medium kind of balances it off and makes sure that it's nicely adhered to the page. Then I'm using some white gouache paint here just adding some white splatters and white sparkles, just loading my brush, tapping it with my finger, adding some teeny tiny small white splatters. For me, this always adds like a magical night sky effect, a magical sparkle to a project, and I really love to do this. If you know my work, you know that for me nothing is finished without adding some white paint splatters. Then I decided I need another focal point, something to go along with that window, and I printed out this beautiful lady here. This beautiful winter queen, just cutting it out, inking the edges, and then I'm just gluing it down like in front of that window. And this just kind of gives another storytelling element for me, because this window just by itself, it kind of, for me, it didn't tell the story very well, and the story that I wanted to tell. So for me, it still needed a person to kind of go along with the scene here. Yeah, then I have some printed out paper strips here with a fresh start and Happy New Year, cutting it out, inking the edges, and then I'm just applying this to the page. Just checking where I want things to go. For me, this is always like just holding it in different places and checking where I like it best. So with no rhyme or reason, for me, this is just a very intuitive decision. Yeah, then inking the edges of the page once more using a black Stas-On ink pad here. Kind of wanted to darken the edges a little bit more, adding some additional purple splatters here using some mica stain, just using that nozzle, and yeah, adding some more text strips to my page, and then I'm already calling it done. And I really enjoyed the process. I love how it turned out. It's really beautiful, and it tells the story that I wanted to tell very well. I hope you enjoyed the process. I hope it inspired you. And now just take a look at some detail shots at all the beautiful details of the page. And thank you so much for watching, guys. And yeah, wishing you all the best for the new year. Happy New Year. And remember, it's always a fresh start. So yeah, hoping all the best for you for the new year. Make it a good one.
Beneath the hum of daily grind, a spark of wonder, hard to find. A brush, a pen, a brand new page. The world transforms, becomes a stage. Creative creations, the magic of art. Whatever we do, it comes straight from the heart. With every stroke, a story grows in vibrant hues or whispered flows. A swirl of paint, a line unplanned. Creation blossoms from your hand. Creative creations, the magic of art. Whatever we do, it comes straight from the heart. No rules to bind, no fear to tame. In art there's no such thing as shame. Mistakes are maps, the scars that guide to paths where beauty dares to hide. Creative creations, the magic of art. Whatever we do, it comes straight from the heart.